So here we are at the very end of May, almost beginning of June, in the lavender garden at UNCE, and we're going to focus right now on English lavenders, Lavandula angustifolia. And the first one that I'd like to introduce you to is this lovely little hidcote. Hidcote's one of the favorites. It's a classic lavender, and it is very beautiful. You can see that the stems are thin. It suited very well to this climate, to this area, and it does well in the winter time. It's very hardy here. So I'd like to kind of show you this flower, if I could, for a minute, and break down the differences between the parts of the flower. The flower itself, this bud-like portion of it, is called the calyx. But the flower that comes out of the calyx, if you can see that, is called the corona. So the calyx is where the fragrance stems from. Once it blooms, the lavender becomes a little bit less fragrant. So it's best to get it before it blooms if you're going to harvest these for something that has to do with the scent. And if you'll come with me for just a moment right back here, I'd like to show you the one and only white lavender that we have. This is a Melissa it's called Lacy Frills. And this Lavandula angustifolia could look a lot better. And you can see it's pretty much bloomed out. All of the corollas have pretty much dried off. So you can see what's happening there. But that just gives you an example of the many varieties of color that there are in the lavender garden, especially for the English lavenders. And if you come down here with me, I want to show you this gorgeous little munstead. Now, all of these plants were reintroduced into the garden after we had to pull a lot of our lavenders from past years, primarily because we didn't prune them well. We'll talk about pruning in a little bit, but I would like for you to see this beautiful munstead. And notice too how the stems themselves are thinner than they are on the Spanish lavenders and even on the French lavenders, and how the flowers are clustered together fairly close. Sometimes there's a bloom here and then the cluster of blooms at the top. So now, in terms of uses for these lavenders, they are fantastic in cooking. The English lavenders smell heavenly, and they also make great crafts, and they hold together well. They're great for dried arrangements, and they're also great for fresh arrangements.